So I'm upstairs today, and well, I had a problem in this bathroom where try to flush, and there's no flush happening. So, you open up the tank, and you can see what's happening here. Is a little thing that goes down to let the water out has broken because it's just plastic, which is I've never really seen a plastic one before. Most of them have been chains. So I went out, I got a rebuild kit, and so I figure we'll go through how to do this. So pretty straightforward though, but I have to take the whole thing apart pretty much. So this is the replacement for the plunger or the plug, and then this is the fill column. So this whole unit I have to essentially take apart and put that new one in. So let's do it. I'm going to start by turning off the water. Then we're going to drain the toilet. So to do that, I'm just going to reach down in here and flush the toilet. Now we want to drain all the water out, even the water that's in the bowl here. We want as much of the water out as possible. So let's keep letting that drain out. Still some water in there. Maybe we can, because we have to take this top part off of here to put the new part in. So I'm going to see if I can find something to help kind of influence the water to get out of there so we don't end up spilling, a bunch of water, especially down that vent. This is a really bad bathroom. Alright, with the water drained, I'm going to start disassembling the subcomponents, starting with this guy here. I'm going to take out the water column, so I just have to disconnect this. And then I will move on to those two screws, one there and one there, which will take the rest of the unit off, as well as I guess I gotta clear whatever this plastic thing is out of there as well. So that will then have the whole thing disassembled so I can put in the rebuild kit. Well, I guess we're just gonna make a little bit of a mess here. Oh, there goes most of my water. I should have got a bucket. I should have got a bucket. Alright, so I got the water column out, and there's still a little bit of water in there, so I went and got a bucket. This should have been a required piece from the beginning. Anyways, I'll just kind of shove that underneath there, just in case, because the next part is those two screws there and there come up so I can remove the filling column and the plunger. So we'll start with that now. Alright, tank's off. So now we're left with the two old mounting screws, which this one's nice and loose, you can see. And then the previous seal and I don't know, plunger. Still don't know what to call this thing. Anyway, so we gotta remove all this old hardware before we can put the new stuff in. So now we got all the old hardware removed, and the toilet's ready to have the new equipment installed into it. So let's grab our package here and get it opened up and installed. So we got everything unpacked. So we've got the the plunging area here and the fill tower, and that's one big unit. And then it has a gasket on the bottom for creating a nice seal between the tank and the bowl itself. Then we have the fill tower, and then we also have this hose that goes from the fill tower to the fill tube, so we can create kind of a quieter fillingness. And then we've got a bag of hardware, so we've got all the screws and nuts and gaskets to hold the tank itself to the bowl. And then finally we have this nut here, which actually holds the water filler to the tank itself through that little tiny hole. The one thing we do have to watch, though, is the orientation of everything. Right now I've kind of got it not a representative. It's supposed to be more like niche. If you look at the instructions, you can kind of see what they're going for. You kind of want it in the background a little bit, because if you put it in the wrong orientation, you won't necessarily be able to get this part to hook up properly, as well as you probably won't have enough chain or have the chain in the right place to hook it to the puller, so when you flush it won't work properly. So just gotta watch that when we put it together. Start here by getting this guy in the tank. Alright, and I can just kind of loose. I want to have the fiber washer on the outside. Get this guy loosely started. Get that kind of in place. Now, I want to twist this so that it's, looks like you want to twist it so that that's at about a 45-degree angle. You know, see this notch right here? I think that's the notch we want to be kind of facing over towards the water column thing, although it is adjustable, so maybe that doesn't matter. But about a 45-degree angle, and that looks about right. Give it a little bit of a tweak here. There we go. Yeah, I like that better. So that's more like where I want to be. Okay, cool. So we'll come back down. And we'll just kind of hold the insides while I turn the outsides. Because there's a big gasket on the bottom. I'm going to let the gasket do the sealing. But we don't want this to be too loose so it doesn't leak inappropriately. Yeah, it's nice and hand tight. You know, double check the orientation. Well, that looks good to me. I'm happy with that. Well, does the camera still work? Okay, I've installed the rubber gasket around here, which is really just a fit. You just kind of slide it on there and get it kind of lined up with the grooves that are there. And then just kind of whack the guy in place. So he just needs to be nice and seated so that when the screws pull everything down, everything's watertight around there. So it doesn't need to be, there's not much to it. Now we move on to screws and hardware. So we get one of these, then a rubber washer. That's going to be up there. Then we're going to have a metal washer, and then we're going to have a bolt. And these are going to be on this side of the tank here, while this and this, or the top of this, are on the other side of the tank. So down inside of here. So, and then we're going to do that for two places here and here, and then hopefully we're good to go. Alright, I set the tank on top of the bowl here, and it's really kind of not sitting properly. But I think that's actually accurate. So it's going to rely on the screws pulling the tank part down to the bowl to kind of close that gap up. I guess I'm going to find out. After a little monkeying around, I've now got it secured in there, and it's got a nice crush on it. So that is in place. Okay, so the next part is to put in the water feed column and get that mounted and hooked up. Alright, water feed column goes in. You want to insert it in such a way that this little black port, or the water port, is facing towards your fill column. So kind of shooting right at it. That's how you want it to go in. And then simply come down, put on my little screw, my nut here, kind of rough it in here. because I can hear it moving around. Gonna need 2 hands for this. Does Tally approve? Huh? Does Tally approve? I don't think she cares I'm rebuilding the toilet. She just likes being upstairs. So I got it kind of roughed in there and kind of its orientation and change. So again, you're going to want to watch that. Make sure as you're tightening it that this stays in line with each other, because you're going to put a hose from here to there. So just watch it, I guess. So I've got the water column installed. Now one of the things I want to do now is adjust this height. You can just snap it over and pull it up and then lock it in place. Now there's a fill line on it somewhere. I believe it's actually right there on that little window right there. So it'll fill to that, and because this toilet's so dirty and been here forever, you can see where the water fills to, so I'll do that. That looks good. I think this column over here might adjust too, but I'm not sure. No, it doesn't look like it does. Okay, so the last little internal thing that we gotta do, actually 2 things, is, where did it go? There it is. It's these 2 things. So to do this, we gotta put a hose around here, and that hose goes into here. Now how it goes in there and how it stays in there is in this little bag, which is this little fill clip. So this fill clip is gonna hold the other side of the hose, and we install him right on top of the fill tower. So now we can kind of see where our 2 connecting points are. We're gonna just install one end. I'm gonna install over here first, I think. Install one end. I think I'm gonna need both my hands for this. Yep, needed 2 hands. So now I got my hose coming from here to there. I don't necessarily like this, how it's in there, but looks like it's in there, so I'm gonna leave it alone. All right, last piece. The piece of the resistance. You gotta hook the water back up to the tank itself. This is where things get fun. Helps if you get it on there, Bill. There we go. So we'll just hook him up. Want to make sure he's tight too, because 40 psi splashing in your face isn't fun. Cool. All right, so he's hooked up. Our first little test of leak. All right, so it didn't spray in my face here. So that's cool. It didn't leak there right in my face. Let's fill for a little bit. Oh. I'm so stupid. I forgot one of the most important reasons, and the reason I bolted the whole thing. A little chain right there for the flapper. It's got to get hooked up right here. Can I do this one-handed? I don't know. No, I can't. Whew. That was a close one. A couple more minutes of that, and I had to put my whole hand in water. Okay, so let's turn the water back on. I can see water's filling into the fill tube. It's pretty good. I don't see any immediate leaking water. That's good too. I don't see any water coming out from around there, or the screws, or under any, like in between here. Nothing's happening there. That's good. Let's take a look over here. Doesn't look like there's any leaking there. Good. So now we fill and we see if it flushes. Alright, so the tank filled. I did have to make one adjustment to this guy. I had to bring him up a little higher because he was just draining water right down, so that had to happen. But other than that, looks like things filled properly. I guess the moment of proof is in the pudding here. Still had some water remaining. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the water column a little bit. Just, I feel like it, I don't know why. But that's easy to do. So, it worked, it flushed. Another job done.